Have you ever wondered why national debt keeps going up, no matter who's in charge? It feels like we're all on a runaway train, and nobody seems to know how to hit the brakes. What if I told you this isn't an accident? What if it's a carefully designed system, a trap that's been set for decades? Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on the national debt crisis and reveal how it's not just an economic issue, but a deliberate strategy that benefits a select few at the expense of everyone else. Let's start with a simple question. How does a country get into so much debt? It begins with a government that wants to spend more money than it collects in taxes. Maybe it's for social programs, military spending, or infrastructure projects. To cover the shortfall, the government issues bonds. These are essentially IOUs. People, corporations, and even other countries buy these bonds, lending the government money with the promise of being paid back later with interest. This sounds reasonable enough, right? But here's where the trap begins to close. The interest on that debt has to be paid. To pay the interest on the old debt, the government often has to borrow even more money by issuing new bonds. This creates a vicious cycle. The debt grows larger and larger, and soon, a significant portion of the government's budget is just going towards paying interest. It's like using one credit card to pay off another. You're not actually paying anything down. You're just digging a deeper hole. This is the debt spiral, and once you're in it, it's incredibly difficult to escape. So when a country is drowning in debt, what are its options? There are really only three ways out, and none of them are pretty. The first option is to dramatically cut spending and raise taxes. This is often called austerity. Think about it. Massive cuts to public services, higher taxes for everyone. This is politically suicidal. No politician wants to be the one to tell the public that their benefits are being slashed and their paychecks are shrinking. It often leads to social unrest and can even trigger a severe recession, which would then reduce tax revenues and make the debt problem even worse. So, this option is almost always a non-starter. The second option is a hard default. This is when the government straight up says, "Sorry, we can't pay you back." This would cause an immediate, catastrophic financial crisis. It would destroy the country's credit rating for generations, making it impossible to borrow money in the future. It would wipe out the savings of anyone who held government bonds, pension funds, insurance companies, individual savers. The global financial system, which is built on the foundation of risk-free government bonds, would instantly collapse. It's the nuclear option, and for a major economy, it's unthinkable. This leaves us with the third and most deceptive option. The one that's happening right now, quietly, all around us. It's called a soft default through inflation. How does this work? Instead of directly defaulting, the government, through its central bank, creates new money out of thin air. The central bank uses this new money to buy the government's bonds. This process is often called quantitative easing or printing money. It injects massive amounts of new currency into the economy. When you drastically increase the supply of something, its value goes down. The same is true for money. As more and more dollars, euros, or yen are created, each individual unit becomes worth less. This is inflation. Your groceries cost more, your gas costs more, your rent goes up, your money just doesn't buy as much as it used to. But here's the clever part of the trap. While your purchasing power is being destroyed, the nominal value of the government's debt stays the same. Let's say the government owes $1 trillion. If they can create enough inflation to cut the value of the dollar in half, they have effectively cut their real debt in half. They are paying back their loans with money that is worth significantly less than the money they originally borrowed. It's a stealthy way to default without ever officially saying so. They are robbing the lender to pay the debt. And who is the lender? Who is being robbed in this scenario? It's you. It's anyone who saves money in that currency. If you have cash in a savings account, a pension, or an annuity, inflation is silently eating away at your wealth every single day. The middle class and the poor, who primarily hold their wealth in cash and savings, are the biggest losers. They work hard, save diligently, and play by the rules, only to have the value of their life's work systematically destroyed. So, if the savers and the middle class are the losers, who are the winners? The winners are those who own real assets. Think about it. The government and the largest corporations are the biggest debtors in the world. Inflation allows them to pay back their massive debts with cheaper money. They win big. The other winners are the owners of scarce assets like real estate, stocks, precious metals, and now even certain digital assets. When the currency is being devalued, people rush to trade their cash for things that hold their value. This drives up the prices of these assets. So, while the person with a savings account gets poorer, the person who owns a portfolio of stocks and real estate sees their net worth skyrocket. This isn't a side effect, it's the intended outcome. This system creates a massive transfer of wealth from the bottom and middle to the very top. It exacerbates inequality, hollows out the middle class, and concentrates wealth and power in the hands of a few. The debt trap is not just an economic mechanism, it's a social engineering tool. It ensures that those who are already wealthy and connected stay that way, while making it harder for everyone else to get ahead. Now we're entering the final phase of this plan. For decades, there was one escape hatch for ordinary people: cash. Physical cash allowed for a degree of privacy and autonomy. If you didn't trust the banks, you could pull your money out. But cash is a problem for a system that relies on total control. This is why there's a huge push for central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. On the surface, they're sold as a convenient, efficient upgrade to our financial system. But look deeper. A CBDC would mean that every single transaction you make is recorded on a central government ledger. They would have the power to monitor, control, and even block your spending. Imagine a world where your money has an expiration date to force you to spend it and stimulate the economy. Imagine a world where they can implement negative interest rates, directly taking money from your account if you're not spending enough, or where they can restrict what you're allowed to buy. Disagree with a government policy? They could simply freeze your assets. This isn't a conspiracy theory. Central bankers are openly discussing these possibilities. It's the ultimate tool for control. The national debt was never meant to be paid back. It was meant to grow to a point where the only solution is to inflate it away, destroying the wealth of ordinary citizens in the process. This crisis paves the way for the introduction of a new, fully controlled digital currency system. So what can we do? The first step is to understand the game being played. Stop thinking of inflation as a mysterious economic phenomenon and see it for what it is: a tax on your savings. Educate yourself about how money really works, not just the sanitized version you learned in school. Understand the value of holding real, tangible assets that can't be printed out of thin air. The system is designed to trap you, but knowledge is the key to finding your own way out. Don't be a pawn in their game. Thanks for watching. If this opened your eyes, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that challenges the mainstream narrative. Stay informed and stay free.